And the first pitch is pulled foul by Matt Carpenter, and we're underway here in game number 3. Patrick Corbin, the 27-year-old from Clay, New York, now in his 5th full season, his Hyundai pitch arsenal. The 0-1 pitch, and it's 0-2.
Corbin actually pitches better here in his home ballpark than he does on the road. You see his overall record. Righty's batting .313 against him with 12 home runs. Explosive ballpark here that really not too many home runs hit.
Out to right field, David Peralta backing up to make the catch, and there's one away.
I say that yesterday we didn't have any home runs, but ball can fly in this little ballpark.
Randall Grichuk bats second, Stephen Piscotty third, Jed Jerko your cleanup man. Then Jose Martinez, Paul DeYoung, Alex Mejia making his debut, Eric Fryer, and Lance Lynn. The Cardinals with just 12 hits in the first 2 games of this series and a 185 average in the 2 games. Fastball misses to Grichuk, who's hitting .222.
Hey, you think about that, Dan, the 185 average in the first 2 games. Lucky that we are tied and trying to win this series.
Grichuk 0 for 8 in the series. Recalled from Memphis on Sunday, homered Sunday night, then again on Monday. And both were multi-hit games. He was optioned back to the minor leagues on May 29th. At 66 at bats in the minors in 15 games. And he draws a rare walk. That's good to see. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. It's Herman, Blanco, and Peralta in the outfield. Lamb, Marte, Owings, Goldschmidt, and Iannetta is behind the plate. 1 out walk, and it brings in Stephen Piscotty. 1 for 7 in this series. And it's fouled back. This year, Patrick Corbin, 6-7. ERA is a shade under 5. His last start, he went 6 2/3 against the Phillies, and he took the loss in that start. That was here at home in a 6-1 final. The 0-1 pitch to Piscotty instead of check on Randall Grichuk, who has 5 stolen bases this year.
Like to see a little bit of hit and run, something, get the movement going, try to get that early lead.
The Cardinals, with their win last night, are now 36-41. That's the slowest start for this club since 2007, and yet they are just 3.5 back of Milwaukee and 2.5 back of the Chicago Cubs. The changeup is fouled back. No balls and 2 strikes.
Nobody seems to want it, do they? In the Central Division.
That may be the case the entire season. Who knows?
Milwaukee, the only team in the Central Division that's over 500, and they're over 500 by just 2 games.
And the 0-2. See that Corbin can be quick to the plate. Pretty good move to first base. Finalist for the Gold Glove Award 2 seasons ago.
Missed all of 14 season with Tommy John surgery. 14-game winner before that.
Little bit low, and it evens it up at 2-2. Three and two. Now let's see if the Cardinals want to start the runner, Randall Grichuk.
Randall has the 5 steals, like you said, and You would think that he would have more than that. See what Piscotty can't do.
Back to Corbin. Perfect lead at short. Double play. Corbin, Marte, Goldschmidt. What a nice play there and lead on that throw by Patrick Corbin. Today he is making his 16th start of the year, number 144 of his career for the 30-year-old of the St. Louis Cardinals, a record of 5-5. A concern for him has been the home runs allowed. Lefties have hit 10, righties 8, a total of 18. It's already a career high, and he's about halfway through the year.
Yeah. He's given up 6 home runs in his last 2 starts. And failed to go 6 innings in his last 6 starts.
Blanco, Peralta, Goldschmidt, Lamb, Owings, Herman, Iannetta, Marte, and the pitcher spot, Patrick Corbin. Gregor Blanco is batting .237, couple of home runs, and he's driven in 7. He started in game 1 and 0 for his last 17. He's played center, he's played left, a couple of starts in right. Began the season on the minor league disabled list with a strained oblique. Came over from San Francisco as a free agent. Invite to spring camp and picked up back on May 5th. It'll be Lance Lynn working with Eric Fryer here today. Yadier Molina not in the lineup.
Yadi just getting the day off after the night game.
No days off for the Cardinals until the All-Star break. Big homestand coming up.
Mike's been trying to juggle his lineup to keep guys fresh.
2-2 the count. Around the horn presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Martinez is start in left. Grichuk in center. Piscotty in right field. Jerko, DeYoung, Mejia, Carpenter on the infield, and Fryer behind the plate. The 2-2 pitch. Fouled back. There's a look at Mejia, who's wearing number 54. Cardinals believe that they may not get Colton Wong back until after the All-Star break. So may see a lot of Mejia and DeYoung. And remember, Ledmus Diaz was sent down to the minor leagues before yesterday's game.
I think John Mozeliak last Sunday was talking about Wong maybe joining the ball club, you know, when they came home. So maybe a little setback there, huh?
We shall see. And a 3-2 pitch to Blanco. Ground ball hit slowly up the first base line, and Carpenter takes it himself for the first out. Our Toyota keys to the game. We were talking about home runs, and he's been giving up a bunch this year.
You know, you can see that prior to Tommy John surgery, really wasn't an issue. The 6th lowest home run total percentage per 9 innings, and then this year, which is kind of a byproduct of Tommy John, that all of a sudden you give up a lot of home runs coming back that first year or two. He's allowed 6 home runs in his last 2, and as we said, a career high 18 on the year.
Here's David Peralta. Ground ball that's pulled foul. Arizona has 61 home runs here at their home ballpark. 5th best in the major leagues.
Let's hope Lance Lynn didn't hurt an ankle or something as he kind of slipped on the mound. Watch him try to break to first base. His foot just pushed off and gave up. Well,
it was the mound issues last night right at that landing area, which Mike Matheny went out in the 9th inning as Rosenthal kept on looking back as to why the mound had the huge crater, if you will. So I'm sure they've been working a lot on that, the grounds crew, and maybe saturated that to the point that it's muddy.
Once again, watch the right leg
left leg. The landing foot.
But I thought it was when he went to push off, going to first base. But
well, you said that they did not need a Raboski. Well, maybe they do. This is why. Clean those spikes, man.
they are clean.
Well, it's muddy out
Look
there.
at it. It's dry. No mud collected on it.
I was here early at 9 o'clock, and they were watering this field time and again, trying to get this thing as well manicured as they can. It gets muddy on the dirt, and you could see the clay build up there in the lead leg. That left foot as Peralta sends it out to center. Grichuk back with room.
Peralta's one guy that's had good success against Lance Lynn. He was 5 for 8 with a home run, but retires him with plenty of room to spare.
Here's Paul Goldschmidt. He saw his on-base streak snapped at 19 last night, and he had a team record at home 42 snapped last night.
And Lance Lynn has done a good job of controlling him. He's just 3 for 13, but no extra base hits. We were talking about it. One of the best players, all-around players in the league, but he hasn't done a lot of damage against St. Louis.
It's a fly ball in the gap into right center, and a diving catch. He got it. What a catch by Stephen Piscotty. An unbelievable play in right field. Has to be one of the catches of the year for the St. Louis Cardinals. It was Tommy Pham in game 1 up against the wall in center, and this gem from Piscotty in right. What a catch from the Cardinal right fielder. What a catch here by Piscotty.
Boy, that looked like this ball was going to get down and go to the wall, so a risky play, but he comes up with a great catch.
And that's ripped into the corner and left off the bat of Jed Jerko. And he has another double. He had a key 2-out double last night late as he drove in the second of his 2 RBIs in the Cardinals win. Back to the catch-up, Piscotty.
Leaves his feet. Backhands that ball, just inches off the ground. That ball gets by him, and you don't want to think about it, but what a great catch.
So leadoff double for Jed Jerko, and here's Jose Martinez.
Jose hit left-handed pitching pretty well.
And a changeup drops in for a strike. The Cardinals back on May 14th took 2 of 3 against the Chicago Cubs. That's the last series win against another team not named Philadelphia. May 14th.
Yeah, you just hard to stay in a pennant race when you're not winning series. You have to dominate against the second division clubs and then try to stay just a shade above 500 against the good ones. So really important to win this series here and maybe get a little momentum going when nice homestand.
Here's the 0-2. Watch out. They've had 2 issues at this ballpark on this homestand alone. We saw the first one off the bat of Greg Garcia in game 1 of the series, in which fans have had line drives and really dangerous situations. The other night it went off the face of a fan who apparently is okay. But boy, that is scary there.
And then you see right there in the front row 2 little kids right there, and just hope nothing happens.
1 ball and 2 strikes. Jose Martinez again bringing out the lineup card for Mike Matheny's club. Stay with the good vibes. He did that last night.
A little more talkative today.
Here's a 1-2. Foul tip. Stays alive. The netting here at this ballpark stops at the beginning of the dugout on both sides. So anybody that's the first row behind the dugout, they are exposed. Little chopper hit to the right side. Owings makes the play. Advancing Jerko to third.
At the very least, he did his job in getting him over to third with just one out. And Dan, I mean, it's not mandatory by Major League Baseball to extend those nets, but I don't see any reason not to.
Here's Paul DeYoung riding a 7-game hitting streak, batting .310 during those 7 games, couple of home runs. Middle infield is maybe about halfway in, and the corners are in for DeYoung.
Goldschmidt at first base, way off the first base line.
Here's the 0-1. 0-2. DeYoung has been seeing a lot more off-speed pitches and breaking balls as the league is trying to figure him out, and it will be an adjustment for him.
How you throw a ton of breaking balls, you're going to hang a certain percentage of them. Corbin has allowed 15 home runs.
Strikeout of DeYoung. The first of the afternoon for Patrick Corbin, and it brings in Alex Mejia. The Cardinals have had 3 position players make their debut this season. Magneuris Sierra, that was back on May 7th. Paul DeYoung, May 28th. First baseman Luke Voigt on the 25th. That trio's done a real nice job. Alex Mejia, his contract purchase yesterday, and now making his major league debut. Said he was shocked in an interview with Jim Hayes that he got the call up to the big leagues. Was not expecting it.
He started the season at Double-A and was named to the All-Star team in the Texas League. And last couple weeks he's been at Triple-A, 4th round selection. In 2012, and out of the University of Arizona, where he earned Pac-10 and Pac-12 Conference Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year honors.
0-2 the count on Mejia. Runner at third is Jed Jerko. Nice play by Iannetta to keep that in front.
Jerko is coming right down the line, so if this ball would have gotten away from Iannetta, he would have made a bid for the score, but nice block by Iannetta.
One ball and 2 strikes. Huge gap in left center. Mejia hits it slowly to short. Glove by Marte. And the threat is through. Leadoff double by Jerko. The Cardinals can't bring him in. Midway through 2, and there's no score. Let's check in with Jim.
Yeah, and Alex found out he was going to the big leagues in a most unusual way. He was in the clubhouse in Memphis, in the restroom, when his manager came in and said, "Get into my office." Mejia had no idea what it was about. He told me when I found out, I was in total shock. He got the news at about 12:30 yesterday, had to catch a flight at 3:30. He had just enough time to call his wife, his parents, pack, and get to the airport. He arrived in the 2nd inning yesterday. Mejia is considered a solid defensive player who can play second, third, and short. Here's what he said about his game. "I'm not going to wow you the first day you see me, maybe not the second. Eventually, you'll see the hard work and focus." Dan?
Well, a lot of hard work to get to this level for any of these players. Congratulations to Alex Mejia, another Cardinals draft choice that's made it to the big leagues. It's where the Cardinals have separated themselves from so many different organizations in the sport by producing players that either fill in or some become stars at this level.
And just think, with the success the Cardinals have had on the field, they're never getting any of those really top draft picks. So they're usually drafting anywhere from 25th to 30th pick.
There's Paul DeYoung, another one. Matt Carpenter, a draft choice. Yadier Molina, Tommy Pham, Stephen Piscotty, Lance Lynn, who's on the mound today. 0-2 hits sharply to Carpenter. On a hop, takes it himself, and he makes the play. 4 up and 4 down for Lance Lynn.
It's a rocket right here, and snares it. Tells Lynn, "I've got it."
Well, if you talk to general manager John Mozeliak about the draft, he'll tell you that no matter where you're picking, every single draft choice has value. And even if it's late rounds, there's something there that has value that could benefit this organization. Bring them in.
Cardinals really have had a lot of success with the high draft picks. I mean, high at the other end of the spectrum. Like a Segrist is a 41st round selection, a round that is no longer in the draft.
There's Chris Owings, who has hit safely in 13 consecutive starts. Just saw his 12-game hitting streak come to a close. And here at home, he's one of the best in their lineup, batting .343. He will see a lot of playing time with Nick Ahmed injured in game 1 on a fastball by Trevor Rosenthal. Good sinking action on that pitch, and a strikeout for Lynn. His first of the afternoon. Missouri Lottery Fox Tracks.
Bottom falls out of it. Lance has learned how to pitch and keep something in reserve. Instead of throwing 94, 95 all the time, he'll live at 91, and then if he gets into a jam, he can reach back and get more velocity.
There's Chris Herman, who could play the outfield, bat leadoff, which he did on Sunday. He can catch, and he's in left field here today. They have a lot of interchangeable parts in their lineup.
Yeah, very valuable, and stuff. Especially they have a backup catcher, that hits from the left side. But as you said, he can move around the diamond and play good defense.
He's 7 for his last 15 with a double, home run, driven in 7. And he had the 10th inning single in game 1 that drove in the winning run, his first ever walk-off hit. The 2-0 pitch. When Lynn is right, it's that late movement that's going down in the zone.
And I think you have to say that we haven't seen that consistency with that late movement, and one of the byproducts of all the home runs. A little different strike zone than last night, huh?
Yes, sir. And a fly ball out to left. Over to get it, Martinez. 6 up, 6 down, the start for Lance Lynn, and there's no score here in the desert. In, it'll be Eric Fryer, Lance Lynn, and Matt Carpenter. Day baseball here in Arizona. And the first pitch, a strike. Fryer started Friday and Saturday against Pittsburgh, and he walked 4 times in those games, including a career high 3 on Friday night.
Tough to back up somebody like Yachty, who plays virtually every day. It's tough to keep you sharp, batting eye there. The one thing, he's always ready. Works very hard along with Yachty and goes to those pitchers meetings and acts as if he's going to to play every day, but the reality is that Yadi's going to be there.
Here's a 1-2 pitch to Fryer. Molina has a hitting streak of 14 straight coming into play today. Longest active in the majors. And remember, he already has a 16-game hitting streak too. Mike Matheny, this is the difference with technology in the game of baseball. Mike many times will text the players who are starting the night before, so they get an idea of who's going to be in the lineup today, or the case tomorrow. May talk to him on the plane. If not, he'll text him early in the morning. Strikeout of Fryer. MLB.com at bat, your #1 mobile app for live Cardinals baseball. All your highlights and stats and news. Download MLB.com at bat today.
That's a good idea, Dan, and most managers will do that, particularly when you got your everyday squad. Kind of tell them in advance that, okay, you can relax, you're not going to be in the lineup. Don't hold me to 100%, but this is what the game plan would be.
Here's the 0-1. Talked about it the other night. Starters always have that baseball in their hand to get the grip, work on the different pitches that they may be talking with another pitcher about. Get a feel of that baseball. Martinez, by the way, what a matchup this will be. Sunday night, Carlos Martinez against Max Scherzer.
Be going for a sweep then, right?
We'll find out. Here's a 1-2. Strikeout of Lynn, 2 in a row, 3 of the last 4. Go big when the Cardinals go big. Coffee fountain, frozen drinks, any size drink, 50 cents the next day at On the Run. Redbird scores 6. Keep the celebration going. Stop by On the Run tomorrow for a thirst quenching win. You earned it. Back to the top of the lineup, and Carpenter lined out to right, first time up. Matchups for the weekend. The Nationals in town beginning tomorrow night. Mike Leake against Tanner Roark. Saturday, Michael Wacha, Gio Gonzalez. Sunday, Martinez and Scherzer. We'll have Leake start for you tomorrow. It'll be on Fox Sports Midwest, and the other 2 games on national TV. You may recall the previous start for Mike Leake was just outstanding against the Nationals. As you look at the upcoming schedule before the All-Star break, nice long homestand coming up. 10 games, starts tomorrow. It'll match the longest of the year. Extra 3, Miami 4, the Mets in for 3.
Tough part of the schedule. The Cardinals are 14-22 in the first 36 games of their current 47 games in 48 days. It all began on May 23rd.
The 2-1 pitch. Taken low, and it's 3-1. Carpenter is first in the National League in walks. He's closing in on 60. So while the average hovers around 230, the on-base percentage around 400. The 3-1 pitch. Corbin trying to strike out the side here in the top of the 3rd. And the 3-2. Corbin much better here at home than he is on the road. 5-2, as Al mentioned, here at Chase Field. Lefties hitting 239, the right-handers above 300. 3-2 pitch. Puts it in play, and a ground ball that's rolled to Goldschmidt. Steps on the bag, and Carpenter is 0 for 2. Midway through 3, and there's no score. Lance Lynn, third inning of work. The Kia in the driver's seat, and he loves that fastball.
Well, he makes it more than one pitch. He can sink it, he can ride it, he can cut it. So you'll see that a lot of those fastballs, but to the hitter, it's more than one pitch, and he's had good success with it. Opponent's average just 220.
Here's Chris Iannetta. Earlier this season, he was on the 7-day concussion list. Baseball has made a concerted effort into trying to protect their players that suffer any type of head injuries. Think about hockey and football and contact sports, not so much baseball, but it does happen here too.
How can these catchers just take a beating with the foul tips? Jarring right back into that mask, and the hockey mask will deflect it a little bit, but probably not enough.
A ball and a strike. Iannetta takes a pitch low. Thought you made a good point earlier with Lance Lynn or anybody that's coming back from Tommy John surgery. Initially out of the gate, it seems like they're gangbusters. They're ready to go. The arm feels 100%, and maybe the best it's felt in years. But they do hit that lull in a season of a long major league season, and Lynn might be in one of those ruts right now.
A little bit, but I think he's still very competitive. It's his pitch count has gotten him the reason why he's not going deeper into ball games. He hasn't completed 6 innings his last 6 starts.
On a 3-1 pitch, a high fly ball out to center. Randall Grichuk makes the catch, and that's 7 in a row to start this game for Lance Lynn.
I think barring the next injury, the second year, you're probably a little better. But he also had enough time to where, remember, he made 3 rehab starts last September. So he was really going to be dealing in April of this year around 17, 18 months after surgery. It's a lot better than coming back, 12 or 13 months.
The switch hitting shortstop Marte, picked up in the Taijuan Walker deal. Gene Segura going to Seattle. Marte coming over here to Arizona with Walker. The primary shortstop the last couple of years, and was batting around .340 at AAA. And he gets the call up after Nick Ahmed had 3 pins inserted into his hand after being hit by a Trevor Rosenthal 99-mile-an-hour fastball on Friday night.
Now Marte was leading all minor league hitters with 105 hits.
Used as a pinch hitter last night, and he slaps it the other way.
He can run too.
We'll stop at second base, and the first hit for Arizona in this game. It's a double by Marte.
Switch hitter, like you said, so he can come out of the gate. Flies around the bases pretty well. Lance Lynn does give up the first hit, man in scoring position, but then you got the pitcher up, Corbin, already 1 out.
Corbin this year is 2 for 28. He does have a pair of sacrifices this year. And takes a ball low. So the Cardinals have Jerko playing in, Carpenter playing back at first base. Lynn's responsibility would be to hop off that mound towards the first base side. Has not shown bunt in the first 2 pitches.
have to believe that base hit to the outfield. No Cardinal outfielder would be able to throw out Marte.
2-1 the count. Already seen in this game the tremendous catch by Piscotty in right center to rob Paul Goldschmidt. Game 1. The Tommy Pham catch. Randall Grichuk with a great catch also in game 1. That was in left field that saved a couple of runs from scoring. Defensively, the Cardinals have played well.
Nice to say that, isn't it?
Yes, it
Haven't
is.
heard it enough.
Three and one. Tommy Pham, Jim Hayes reporting on the pregame show. Disappointed he's not in the lineup. Pretty good numbers against Corbin, but understood that he needed a day. Looking ahead to Washington and the homestand. Disappointing in the fact that a lot of family and friends are here too.
Tommy Pham has played with a lot of energy, and fun to watch what he's doing right here. Fun to watch him when he's healthy. He's got a lot of talent.
Three and two the count.
Corbin's not making it easy on Lance.
And he struck him out. 2 strikeouts for Lance Lynn. 2 outs in the inning. Take Fox Sports Midwest. We're with you wherever you go. Download the app. Stream the Cardinals wherever you go. Fox Sports Go. Here's Gregor Blanco. There's 5 lefties, 6 if you include Corbin in this lineup. The reason why they're hitting just 183, the right-handed batters are against Lance Lynn. Very tough on the righties.
And Lance wants to retire Blanco. Peralta has given him the most trouble. He flew out the first time, but get this man right here. Deal with Blanco or Peralta next inning.
Outfield for the most part is straight away in the 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. Looked to be a pretty good pitch. Let's take a look. Caught the bottom of the zone.
And that's where we talk about umpire sitting over the inside shoulder, and pitch that's right in front of them they don't call often.
Pitching in this series has been very good for the Cardinals. Carlos Martinez with 10 strikeouts in game 1. Last night it was Adam Wainwright, 6 1/3, 2 runs on 8 hits as he struck out 8. So those 2 have been very good. We'll see if it carries over to Lynn. Carlos may be an all-star this year.
Maybe an all-star showing off a tattoo, but you never see pitchers wear jackets anymore. It's the last time you saw, they have to bring a jacket out to a pitcher on base.
We see the
compression sleeve.
Yep, the compression sleeve for guys when they're not playing. Wainwright has worn that time and again. Occasionally Martinez, Michael Walker usually between his starts. 3-1 the count. High fly ball out to center. And it's off the wall. 1-0 Arizona. That scores Marte, and the double by Gregor Blanco as that snaps in 0 for 18. He needed that.
Little man hit that ball a long way. It's 407 to dead center field, and then you got to hit it, what, 25, 30 feet up to get it over the yellow line. Ball up, got his arms extended. Grichuk goes back, he's got to play it off the wall. Now Peralta comes up here, and as mentioned, he's had success against Lance Lynn.
So 2 outs and a runner at second. Talked about the story all series long of Peralta. Some of the stops in independent baseball included the White Wings of Rio Grande Valley, the Wichita Wingnuts, the Amarillo Sox in independent baseball. The 1-0. Fouled back. 1 ball and 1 strike with 2 outs and a runner at second base.
Peralta originally signed with the Cardinals as a pitcher. Hurt his shoulder. Went to those independent leagues for 2.5 years, and he's a good solid hitter up here at the big league level now.
Here's a 1-1. That's fouled back. A big happy 8th birthday to Dominic Castaldi. Never misses a game on Fox Sports Midwest. One and 2 the count. Runner at second, and the 1-2 pitch to David Peralta. Tied him up and struck him out. 2 in the inning and 3 this afternoon. 2 out RBI double by Blanco, and it's 1-0 D-backs. Get your tickets at cardinals.com/promotions. It'll be Randall Grichuk, Stephen Piscotty, and Jed Jerko. 67 World Series ended with a strikeout. Players woke up to the papers saying Lonborg and Champagne. And Tim was telling me it was like waking that sleeping giant. Players did not take kindly to that.
And of course, Bob Gibson did the rest.
Yeah. 0-2 the count on Grichuk.
Yanni, Eric Fryer going over pitching selection.
It's fought off and drops into shallow right field, and a base hit for Randall Grichuk. On base for the second time to go along with a walk.
His first hit of the series.
Right fielder Stephen Piscotty.
Fights this one off and muscles it over the infield. Another aspect, players are so big and strong now, it's you can muscle the ball.
Piscotty rounded into a double play back in the first inning. Ooh, nearly to the backstop.
Iannetta stabbed at that ball. Almost got by him.
Here's a 1-0. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, back in the first, Paul Goldschmidt at the plate. And watch this play by Stephen Piscotty. Tremendous in right center to rob Goldschmidt of at least a double. He can run, may have been a triple, depending if Grichuk could get there and back him up in enough time. 3-0.
Catch that ball backhand and hitting the ground. Much easier for a left-handed right fielder, but Stephen did a great job. Hold on to that one. Covered a lot of ground.
Three 3-0 the count. Your runner at first is Randall Grichuk. 1-0 our score. And he walked him. First walk issued by Patrick Corbin.
Corbin had a real tough month of May.
Check that, his second walk. He walked Grichuk back in the first, and now Piscotty.
And now, meeting of the minds on the mound. Mike Butcher, the pitching coach, out to talk to all the infielders in.
Corey Kluber today of the Cleveland Indians, his 4th consecutive start of 10 or more strikeouts. He had 12 today, a 5-1 win over Texas. That ties Bob Feller in that particular category. Feller debuted at the age of 17. He had 4 years of military service in the Navy. Became a baseball Hall of Famer. Stan the Man said he was the greatest pitcher of our era. High praise.
And Bob Feller would have agreed with it. Remember Corey Kluber when he faced the Cardinals a couple years ago in Cleveland, had one of those big strikeout games. And Cleveland tried to win that World Series with what, about 4 pitchers.
So nobody out. Here's Jerko, doubled into the left field corner first time up. And a strike. The 0-1 to the Cardinal third baseman. 0-2.
Jerko probably the biggest threat the Cardinals have in their lineup. Just don't have that big bopper that scares the opposition.
A little bit low. 1-2. The next two, Jerko. Base hit into left field. Grichuk will be held up. And the bases will be loaded and nobody out for Jose Martinez. Jerko is 2 for 2.
Interesting to see if there were an out or two, if they challenged the Herman, the left fielder, with that throw coming in.
The Kubota power stats. This ballpark known for home runs. Most home runs on average per game. Chase Field at 2.66. And yet in this series, only 1 home run has been hit. Martinez, base hit into left. This game is at least tied. Here comes Piscotty. Throw is cut off and Jose Martinez delivers. 2-1 Cardinals.
Nice going, Jose. Picks up RBIs. 16 and 17. Out away from him. Just pulls it through in the left side. Scotty scoring from second base. I got my answer. He run off the left fielder.
Here's Paul DeYoung, struck out. Steady diet of breaking balls first time up in the second inning.
A lot of times, first time through the order.
DeYoung, a base hit into center field. Jerko had to wait and make sure that that ball got through. It did. And the Cardinals have their third consecutive hit, their fourth in the inning, and still nobody out, and the base is loaded for Mejia.
I was going to say, Paul DeYoung, the first time up, pitchers have a pretty good success against him. But after that, he's able to make adjustments or sees the pattern they're throwing, and he hits for a pretty good average after the first bat. That's now an 8-game hitting streak for DeYoung.
Patrick Corbin was a basketball player growing up. Huge fan of Jim Boeheim and the Orangemen of Syracuse. He's such a good athlete. He can stand flat-footed, jump up, dunk a basketball. Played football as well in high school. He was a safety and quarterback. He said growing up in the cold of New York, weather wasn't conducive to just baseball, so being from Clay, New York, which is the largest suburb of Syracuse, grew up playing a myriad of sports and actually didn't start playing competitive baseball until his junior year of high school.
I think the more sports you play, the better athlete you become. And playing other sports can help you when you're in the other sports.
Mejia, a little bouncer left side and foul. Grounded out to short his first time up. Oh, we mentioned that Corbin was a finalist for a Gold Glove award. They feel, even though the numbers aren't there, that if they needed to, he could swing the bat a little bit. But right now he's in trouble. No activity in the Arizona bullpen. Bases loaded, nobody out. 1 ball and 1 strike.
4th round selection from the Cardinals in 2012, and Mejia, University of Arizona, and he was the player of the year and also the defensive player of the year in that conference.
A ball and a strike. Mejia fights it off, hit down the right field line. The catch is made by Peralta. Fires a strike to Chris Iannetta. Bases remain loaded with 1 down.
Nice play by Peralta. Got a real good jump on that ball. Got it back in quickly. Always assume that they may be going. You aren't caught flat-footed if you do that. But watch here, he comes over here and catches the ball, fires it in. Slow enough it could have been cut off, but right there, 1 hopper for, they were trying to send the runner. Good thing Jerko didn't come down the line.
Strike 1 to Fryer, called out on strikes. Oh for 1.
Oh for his last 13. 0 for 5 in this series, and be a good time to unload first hit in a while.
That's 2 strikes on Fryer that He certainly could have words with the home plate umpire, but has not. You're a catcher. You're out there, and you're also trying to battle for your pitcher too.
Yeah, when I had to lead, I never wanted to see any of my players argue with the umpire.
This year, he's 0 for 4 with the bases loaded. Now time is called.
There's his biggest cheerleader right there for Fryer.
One out, bases loaded, and an 0-2 pitch. Saw that shot of Wainwright and Molina, and boy, have they been through some Cardinal history here in the last decade or so. A lot of times you don't see them standing together or sitting together because Molina is playing every day.
Yeah.
Here's a 1-2. Inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. You could see the home plate umpire, Sam Holbrook, crew chief, he thought about it.
Clinched a little bit. That's the pitch inside that not being called.
Both these pitchers have really slowed things down with runners on. Two is popped up. It'll find the seats and a souvenir. In the dirt, kept in front, did not go, and it's 3-2.
See it by the side. A lot of times it always looks like breaks the plane, but thought he pulled it back.
Bases loaded. Big pitch in this game, the 3-2. 4th strikeout for Patrick Corbin.
That was a big one. 3-2. Got the ball up there and it's at the eye level, so you see it so plainly, but it's one that you're going to swing and miss or pop it up at best.
Well, if he comes away with only 2 runs allowed, it's almost a moral victory for Patrick Corbin and the Diamondbacks. Twice the Cardinals with the bases loaded and nobody out this inning alone.
4 hits and a walk.
There's strike 1 on Lynn. 0.83 his average coming into play today.
2 for 25 on the year. No RBIs. He could help his own cause right here.
The 0-1.
The last start when he hit that double, Lance Lynn, recently, he'd take one right here. Big gap in left center.
And the outfield very shallow. It may be a little bit too deep in left.
In left, yeah.
But in center and right, very shallow. Now Corbin wants to talk it over with Chris Iannetta.
0-2 to a pitcher. Can't get it together.
Mentioned that Mike Leake will go tomorrow for the Cardinals. We'll have it for you on Fox Sports Midwest. Remember in that last start against the Nationals, he gave up 2 hits in the first inning and then set down 19 in a row as he defeated Max Scherzer, and he'll go tomorrow night. Boy, that's a good play again by Iannetta.
Right at the feet of the hitter. Weight shift. Real nice job.
The confidence to call that pitch, the confidence of the pitcher to throw it where it's potentially wild with a runner at third.
And to know that you can throw it, bounce it, and it'll still be blocked.
Here's a 1-2. Strikeout of Lynn. Back-to-back Ks. The Cardinals with 4 hits and a walk, and they get 2 runs. And they also get a lead. Started with Bridget. They tacked on after that. One in this game. It's 2-1 Cardinals as we check in with Jim.
Dan Jose told us today, Danny, you were there, that he would lobby to bring out the lineup card again today. After all, he did it last night, and the Cards got a win, so he got another shot today. Jose looked quite animated during the lineup card exchange, but he told us yesterday he really didn't speak. He said he just nodded a lot, so they knew he was locked in. Looked like he was talking more today. One other thing about Jose, he took that ball that hit Luke Voit in Luke's first major league plate appearance and tore some of the cover off. He told Luke that's what a ball should look like when it hits steel. Dan, Luke's dad, now has that ball.
I like it. Jose Martinez, great personality. Fun to visit with. We were at the team hotel last night and again this morning before we left, and he's always smiling, very appreciative of being in the big leagues. And why not?
He gets it, doesn't he?
He does.
Decade of minor league baseball. Buses, small clubhouses. And you appreciate everything here.
Last night, historic in many ways for Paul Goldschmidt. He went 0 for 4, first time all season. He's gone hitless in 4 at-bats in back-to-back games. Franchise record, 42 game base on base streak at Chase Field came to an end. A drive into center. Grichuk back. He's at the wall, and it's gone. A long home run for Paul Goldschmidt.
He's 4 for 15 off of Lance Lynn, and that's his first extra base hit off of Lance. And we have another tie ball game. Almost looked like he hit it off the end of the bat, but got that trajectory. He has the strength. A 19th home run that Lynn has allowed.
Goldschmidt isn't even 30 yet, already a 4-time All-Star. The home run's an issue coming into this start today for Lance Lynn.
And you can see really not an issue in the past. But
well, the question then is why? Why are you seeing the home run?
well, I think I read someplace one time that guys coming off of Tommy John, they do have a tendency to give up more home runs than they did prior. Now, I don't know if it stays that way, but when you're throwing the ball over the middle of the plate, you're going to give up a few more.
And that one tailing back over the center of the strike zone. And that's 4 today for Lance Lynn as he catches Jake Lamb.
Second baseman, Chris Owings.
BJC Healthcare difference maker. The last 4 starters for the Cardinals: Mike Leake, Michael Wacha, Carlos Martinez, Adam Wainwright, all giving the Cardinals at least 6. That was the formula early in the season that kept the Cardinals in a lot of games, and that's what's working right now. Hit to Jed Jerko off the bat of Owings. Out number 2. So Mike Leake going tomorrow. Still good seats available with the Washington Nationals. A chance to see Bryce Harper. They come through 1 time a year. And we'll see Max Scherzer, the St. Louis native. He will go on Sunday night against Carlos Martinez.
Strasburg had 13 strikeouts last night. We'll skip him, but Washington is in a 1-1 tie with the Cubs today. Early in that ball game, bottom of the 3rd.
And a ball outside to Chris Herman. Flied out to left, first time up. It's announced today that Jack Flaherty will be a part of the Futures game down in Miami. The All-Star festivities. Pacific Coast League announced yesterday the Cardinals minor league catcher Carson Kelly, lefty Ryan Sheriff, right-handed pitcher Luke Weaver selected to represent the Memphis Redbirds in the All-Star game. Here's Paul DeYoung with a beauty. What a terrific play that was, robbing Chris Herman. The Astros, one of the great stories so far in 2017. They look to be headed to postseason play, barring a collapse. As Matt Carpenter on the first pitch pops it up. Hitless today in 3 plate appearances as the catch is made.
Speaking of Houston, Dan, look at their 53-26 overall. They are 20 games over 500 on the road.
Here's Grichuk, who has walked first time up, singled and scored on a blue base hit into right field. Mike Gersh is the assistant to the GM, the senior special assistant to the general manager. There is Bob Gebhardt on the left, Michael Gersh on the right. Bob had been serving this particular role with the Arizona Diamondbacks the last 12 years. He was the original GM of the Colorado Rockies and now back with the St. Louis Cardinals for the 2nd time as he worked with Walt Jocketty. But John Mozeliak will tell you that is one of his great mentors in the game of baseball, as those two originally hooked up with the Rockies.
I know Bob a long time player. You know, he was a pitcher and longtime scout, as you said, a general manager.
And a strikeout of Grichuk.
Of course, we talk about mentors for Walt Jocketty and Tony La Russa. Roland Heeman, who's got to be in his 90s or so here in Arizona and still active.
2012, Bob received the Roland Heeman Award from the Society of American Baseball Research, also known as SABR. Strike 2, Piscotty. Rounded into a double play to end the top of the 1st. Walked and scored in the 4th. John Mozeliak started out as a batting practice pitcher with the Colorado Rockies.
Yeah. Of course, Walt Jocketty, when he was with the Oakland A's, he had no secretary. He had about 3 titles: farm director, scouting director, and answered to in a sense, he answered to a 14-year-old executive of the Oakland A's.
MC Hammer.
Became very famous as MC Hammer, who would have to call up Mr. Finley and tell him what's going on, play-by-play. And
this is well hit into right, racing over Peralta near the line and makes the catch. Cardinals go in order midway through 5, and we're tied at 2. Chris Iannetta, the batter. First season with the Diamondbacks. Number of years in Colorado. Then was with the Angels, Seattle a year ago. And now in his first season with the Diamondbacks. Seven, 8, and 9 in the lineup here for Arizona.
hopefully he has a real quick and efficient inning. And can kind of break that bad streak of not completing 6 innings. 6 starts in a row.
Iannetta fly to center, first time up, and it's fouled back. Out of play. Opponents came in hitting just .211 overall against Lance Lynn, 5th best in the National League. And today he's allowed just 3 hits, a home run by Paul Goldschmidt, RBI double by Blanco back in the 3rd.
All 3 hits are extra base hits today. 2 doubles and a homer.
Here's a 1-2. Academy Sports and Outdoor Leaderboard. Scherzer, will see him on Sunday night. 164 average against. Right after him, also starting on Sunday night, Carlos Martinez. Lynn in the top 5.
Robbie Ray will make the start tomorrow for the Diamondbacks.
The 2-2 pitch. And he struck him out. 5 today for Lance Lynn. Can't miss event of this summer hits South Beach. Baseball's biggest stars take the field for the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. That's July 11th, and it's only on Fox. There's Yadier Molina on the left, Carlos Martinez on the right. In my mind, Martinez has turned out to be one of those players that's must-see TV. I keep saying that here recently, but he's that good. And you never know, he might go out and throw a no-hitter. He's got no-hit stuff, it seems like, every time he goes out there.
Electric stuff, and still learning. He's just young, and the only way to learn is to be on that mound.
Marte doubled into the corner and left and scored the first run of the game for Arizona to make it 1-0. Cardinals came back to make it 2-1 on a base hit with the bases loaded by Martinez. Jose. And Goldschmidt then tied it up with a solo shot. Tailing back over the outside corner of the plate in a strikeout.
Boy, you can see that ball run right there, as you said, right back over the middle of the plate. 2 strikeouts in a row here, 6 on the day. The thing about Carlos Martinez, Danny, is he's really learned as he's gone along, and understands now why Yachty would call certain pitches, has that good confidence, doesn't have to have Yachty there all the time holding his hand. His complete game shutout, Fryer was back behind the plate, and he said, obviously we all know how important Yachty is, but he's been learning and has the confidence that he can call his own game or just take the lead of Eric Fryer.
The best average against in Cardinals history is Bob Gibson in 1968. Opponents hit 184. And we showed you so far this year, Lynn at 211, Martinez 199. That would put them top 10 all time in Cardinals history. Jose De Leon at a 197 average against in 1989. Martinez at 199. Lynn would be number 10 on that list. Here's a 1-2 pitch. A late swing by Corbin.
Lance a lot more economical in this start than he has been in his past. Should be able to get through 6.
Chopped off the plate. Lynn off the mound. Underhands to Carpenter. We're through 5, and our score is 2-2.
Has the potential to be a big loss for them.
Obliques are always tricky too.
Yeah, you come back too soon and re-injure it, and you're back to square one. I think you also get in a situation a lot of times a club like Milwaukee just doesn't have the depth. So if they get in injuries in certain categories, they just can't replace them.
Patrick Corbin, his best season was 2013. As you get a look at Jed Jerko, he was an all-star that year. He went 14-8, youngest left-hander in Diamondbacks history, with both 30 starts and 200 innings. As Jerko grounds it to third, Jake Lamb with it. Corbin originally selected by the Angels, second round of 2009. Traded to Arizona along with Joe Saunders and Tyler Skaggs in the Danny Herron deal in 2010.
Danny Herron is involved in the front office work here for the Diamondbacks.
Originally a Cardinal.
Yeah.
Out of Pepperdine. A strike to Jose Martinez.
Yeah, it really is amazing how many Cardinal draft picks come to the big leagues. A lot of them come through the Cardinal farm system, but some of them that don't are traded off to other clubs and become major leaguers with other teams. And you look at a lot of clubs, they can't even hit on their #1 draft picks, get them to the big leagues.
Mark Mulder deal, that was Derek Barton, who was a catcher at the time in the Cardinals system, a switch hitter. High on base percentage type of hitter. Made it to the big leagues with the A's. Herron went to Oakland. As Martinez grounds to short. Another player that you may be hearing about is Ildemaro Vargas. He was just called up by Arizona, and I talked to Tony La Russa the other day, and he said here's another guy that was in the Cardinal system that may have a chance to make it to the big leagues. And here he is, originally signed with the Cardinals as a non-drafted free agent in 2008 and in the big leagues today. Here's Paul DeYoung.
He kind of went to break, but what a heck of a defensive play that Paul DeYoung made.
It was off the bat of Chris Herman to in the bottom of the 4th. The Cardinals, for the most part in this series, and it's a winning formula to have good starting pitching and clean defense and base running, and they've done that.
Yes.
Here's a 2-0 pitch.
They've gotten good starting pitching in this series. And the problems with the bullpen, which was all lined up with a 3-run lead going to the 8th inning with Rosenthal and O, but turned into a defeat yesterday. Rosie picked up his first save of the year.
Jake Lamb retires to Young, and a 1-2-3. It's now 9 in a row sent down by Patrick Corbin. It's 2-2. Top of the lineup, and here is Gregor Blanco.
That ball looked like it slipped out of Lance's hand. Important inning right here. Mention the top of the order. Lance has retired 6 in a row.
6 strikeouts on the afternoon. Blanco is grounded out to first, and also a 2-out RBI double in the third that scored Marte. The 2-0 pitch. Cardinals are 5 games below the 500 mark on the road and overall this season. 20-20 at home. Lynn had not gone more than 5 2/3 in each of his last 6 starts, so that changes here today. And a grounder that's pulled foul to Dave McKay. Part of the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame. Dave from Canada and a longtime coach.
Tony La Russa's made a lot of money for Dave McKay, hasn't he?
And Tony would say Dave has made a lot of money for him too. It's been a good relationship.
Sure.
That's ripped into right. That'll go all the way to the wall. Blanco to second. On his way to third. This will be a triple.
Piscotty messed it up in the corner down there of the bullpen. So he dropped it at one time. Ball hit hard going into the corner. Piscotty goes after it. Kind of bounced around there, and he failed to pick it up the first time, but probably a triple either way, the way he runs. Is where you can see the ball kind of caroms around there, gets caught in there.
Not much he could do.
No, so that's a triple all the way.
Infield drawn in. Here's David Peralta. Fly to center and struck out. Lynn has his work cut out for him now. Where you get concerned is the Diamondbacks taking a lead this inning and turning things over potentially to what has been a lights out bullpen.
Yes, their bullpen has been very, very good. All 4 hits for the Diamondbacks have been extra base hits.
And the 0-1 pitch. Foul.
Wouldn't have been by much, but it was foul.
Diamondbacks, if they want to take a look at this, you can review potential fair foul plays once it's past the umpire, which then is considered an outfield fair foul review. Diamondbacks are doing that right now. Torey Lovullo just said nope. No challenge, and it's 0-2 at the infield end. They start to stretch now in the Cardinals pen. Pitch count only at 78.
And activity now in the Cardinal pen. Tyler Lyons.
And that pitch is popped up. It's playable as Lynn gets out of the way. Jerko at the catch.
Just a little acrobatic. Working on his juggling, right? One hand. Derek Lilliquist come out and talk with Goldschmidt coming up. Goldschmidt hit the ball well twice. There you see Tyler. The first time was Piscotty made a great diving catch. And then the last time a home run to dead center.
Well, you could pitch around Paul Goldschmidt here, set up the potential of a double play. Jake Lamb has grounded into a team high 7 this year. You also run the risk of the potential of a big inning. Lamb with 62 driven in this year. I'm sure that conversation is about that, but be careful.
Yeah, I mean, you got 1 and 2 in the National League in RBI leaders. Goldschmidt leads with 65, then Lamb behind him is 62. Goldschmidt is 4 for 15 against Lynn, and Lamb is 2 for 6.
So 1 out runner at third. Infield drawn in. Back in the first, it was a diving catch and a tremendous play by Stephen Piscotty to Rob Goldschmidt. And then the home run to center. Fourth inning, and that home run, a long one off the bat of Paul Goldschmidt, his 19th of the year.
Now they'll intentionally pass Goldschmidt after falling behind.
They remember back in 2014, he fractured his left hand on a pitch that was similar to the first pitch that Lynn delivered in that plate appearance. So that gets the attention of Goldschmidt and the Diamondbacks, no doubt. The intentional walk, and now it's Jake Lamb. Grounded into 7 double plays. Cardinals defensively about halfway in. Carpenter holding at first base. Goldschmidt with 13 steals, and that's why you see the throw over. He is an all-around good player.
Very much so. Lamb really came into his own last year. 29 home runs, 91 RBIs. Already 62 RBIs this year.
First pitch, ground ball. Carpenter to second, race to the bag, and save. Run scores. Blanco, and it's 3-2 Arizona. Right when we were talking about the Cardinals playing clean baseball defensively, a tough double play, but one that could have been turned. It's not, and it's 3-2.
Oh, Lance bounces over here. Little hesitation right there, and then it's a foot race. DeYoung trying to hit his moving target, a little bit behind him. I think it would have been safe either way, but we'll never know because he dropped the ball. So 63rd RBI for Lamb, and
Owings is 0 for 2. Struck out and also grounded out to third. Diamondbacks go back on top now, 3-2. Owings on the first pitch, pops it up behind home plate. Home run by Goldschmidt now moves him into the top 10 in the National League with 19. He's now 8th in the National League. Lamb was 63 driven in. Goldschmidt was 66. 2 outs, runner at first. And the 0-1.
still have a chance to win this series, but I think it's maybe the best series we've seen recently against a good ball club. Should have won the first game of the series. They won last night, and this one's still in jeopardy.
And it's 1-2. We'll see if this holds true here with Owings, who started playing baseball at the age of 4. Parents didn't want him to hit off a tee. Instead, did the coach pitch variety from the very beginning. And the reason why, his dad stressed putting the ball in play before reaching 2 strikes. Well, he's got 2 strikes on him here.
He's been trying to put the ball in play.
Two balls and 2 strikes. Brother Connor played for the 2016 College World Series champions, Coastal Carolina. And recently, the Florida Gators winning the national championship in baseball.
Their first, right?
2 balls and 2 strikes. And he struck him out. So strikeout number 7 for Lance Lynn. Frustrating play on the potential inning-ending double play. Diamondbacks back on top. 4 hits for the Diamondbacks, but they have a lead of 3-2. What's on tap is presented by Budweiser. Mike Leake against the Nationals tomorrow. Tanner Roark, the starter for Washington. And we'll come your way with the pregame show at 6:30. That's the only game of that weekend series that'll be on Fox Sports Midwest. Ruby De La Rosa, right-handed pitcher, is into the ball game for the Arizona Diamondbacks. They picked up his contract back on the 23rd of June. 0-1 with a 2.35 ERA. With 14 games of the Aces, that's their AAA affiliate. Struck out 23 and only walked 4. Greg Garcia will be the pinch hitter for the Cardinals. Initially, Luke Voigt was out there. They pull him back. Garcia will pinch hit for Mejia, who went over 2 in his major league debut. Garcia 2 starts in this series at second base.
Done a nice job at pitch hitting the last couple of years. Has an ability to get on base.
And the first pitch is taken high and outside.
Not afraid to hit with 2 strikes. He'll take a walk, hit by pitch.
1 for 7 in this series, and the 1-0 pitch. 1 ball and 1 strike. Here's a 1-1. Catches the bottom of the strike zone. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
De La Rosa with Arizona the last couple of years. Check that last pitch. Had elbow issues last year. Wasn't tendered a contract and then re-signed a minor league contract with Arizona and finds himself back in the big leagues.
Hit to short. Marte up with it. 1 down here in the top of the 7th. Patrick Corbin finished up his afternoon with 9 consecutive set down after having that rough 4th inning in which there are 5 batters that reach base consecutive fashion. Hit, walked, and 3 consecutive hits. The Cardinals in that inning with 4 hits and a walk and scored just 2 runs. Luke Voigt is at the on-deck circle. Matt Bowman is getting loose in the pen, so that'll be it for Lance Lynn. Both starters will be out of this game.
At least Lance did get through 6 innings in this start. Broke that trend he had of 6 straight starts with not getting through the 6th inning.
That's hit down the right field line and foul. Final line on Corbin, 6 innings, 3 hits, rather 3 runs on 5 hits, struck out 6 and walked 2 for Lance Lynn. He went 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 runs, and struck out 7. Gave up the home run to Paul Goldschmidt. 1-2 the count on Eric Fryer. A key plate appearance in this game. Bases loaded and only 1 out. Back in the 4th, Fryer was up and struck out. After that, Lynn struck out and the threat was through. But you can get that production from the bottom of the order. It makes such a difference in a game.
It really does. And you got Carpenter, who leads the club in RBIs. He's gotten that when the bottom of the order is done some damage.
3-2 is line to third. It's the Gateway Honda home run inning. Cardinals hit a home run. The Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri. Luke Voigt. Pinch hit single on Tuesday. And the day before, he collected his first major league hit, a double on Monday. That was his first ever start in the big leagues against Cincinnati. He was in the top 10 of many offensive categories in the PCL. 97 miles an hour. Hit out of play for strike 1.
2 for 5 now at the big league level, and as a pinch hitter, 1 for 1.
0-2. Remember on Sunday, pinch hitting and was hit by a pitch.
That was his major league debut.
And Voigt sends it out to left center field, and that ball is down. It's another extra base hit for Luke Voigt. Boy, has he done a nice job.
Really has. Hanging pitch right there. Plugs the gap out in left center. Drives the ball. I was kidding about Grandma. You got to start collecting some more money from Grandma. You got to hit a home run for that, though.
Grandma telling Jim Hayes, for those that didn't hear it, home runs hit. That means that Grandma donates to Luke Voigt's bank account. Batter will be Carpenter. They have 3 lefties in their pen, and they're going to stick with De La Rosa here. And Chafin, one of the top left-handers in all the baseball in their bullpen. We saw him in game 1, but nobody up and throwing for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Bello has seemed like has a tendency to stick with his pitchers a little longer than some.
I got to think, if you have 3 lefties and you know Carpenter will not be pinch hit for, this is the prime spot to use him.
You would think.
Shift is on for Matt Carpenter. 2 outs, tying run in scoring position. Carpenter is 0 for 3. Plaza Tire Service on the first pitch. May have caught the strike zone, but does not go De La Rosa's way. 2-0. The tying run is Luke Voigt at second base. Go ahead run at the plate. And Carpenter, who has 14 home runs. The 2-0 pitch. 3-0. Randall Grichuk at the on deck circle. And they will intentionally walk Carpenter now and deal with Grichuk. Cardinals have a weekend series with the Nationals starting tomorrow night. Friday's game is right here on Fox Sports Midwest. Coverage begins at 6:30. Saturday's game on Fox starting at 6, and both games streaming on Fox Sports Go.
Pitching coach out to talk. And the infield comes in for the conference. Luke Voigt comes over to third base to consult with Mike Schilt. Nobody even warming up, so they got good confidence in De La Rosa. Yeah, that's one of the things I see that is a real improvement. Is it used to be, you know, you get into this late stage of the game, you get a lefty and a righty up that would pitch along with the pitcher on the mound, and that's what took a toll, was to warm up 2 or 3 innings and not come into a game. And now they try not to get you up just for wasted effort.
And strike one on Grichuk. Walked back in the first. Singled to right and scored in the fourth. Called out on strikes in inning number 5.
Slider there.
Here's the 0-1. I mean, that's all he's going to see. You would
Yeah.
think in this at bat. Give him a fastball, he could hit it 500 feet.
And that's what he has to understand, that pitch recognition. They're going to try and throw pitches off the plate, trying to get himself out.
The 1-1 pitch. 1-2. At this at bat, that is a huge strike call against Grichuk, now in the hole.
It really is. Fastball that said he didn't check his swing. Looked like it was away.
And the 1-2. Grichuk hits it down the left field line. It is gone! 3-run homer. Grichuk, he hung it, and he blasted it out of here.
You described it perfectly, Dan. And instead of being away, it was on the inner half, and he turned on that one, and it was lickety-split out of this ballpark. That's his 7th home run and RBIs, 26th with the last inning. He's pretty happy. He's still the pitcher of record. Hanging slider right there, and boy, it got out of here in no time at all. Drop the bat, run around the bases.
Randall Grichuk with home run number 7.
Way back in that first deck, almost to the second deck. Don't stop now.
2-1 pitch. Taken low and outside by Stephen Piscotty. This all began, this 2-out rally, on an 0-2 pitch. Luke Voigt sent into the gap in left center. He doubled. De La Rosa fell behind on Carpenter, 3-0. The intentional walk, and then the 3-run blast by Randall Grichuk. And that's a ball. Still no activity for Arizona in their pen. you look at so many moments in a season where you say, especially in the Cardinals year, maybe that's a moment that gets them going. If they win today, maybe that's a series that they point to where this team gets going. A tough team in Arizona that plays so well overall, but certainly here at home. Still a long ways to go, but big moment.
Also a team that has come from behind 28 times, almost 29 last night. So you have a 3-run lead. Well, they had a 3-run lead. Excuse me, you got a 2-run lead, but you had a 3-run lead in first game of the series and saw that disappear to a loss. So add on.
0-1 pitch. It'll be very interesting what the Cardinals do at the back end of this game. The last 2 nights combined, Trevor Rosenthal with 55 pitches.
Yeah, you just have to assume that he's not available. Remember there, earlier in the season, they didn't even want him to pitch back-to-back games.
High fly ball out to deep right. Peralta backing up with room. And he makes the catch. Randall Grichuk. 7th home run. Couldn't come at a better time. Hanging slider. And the Cardinals back on top.
Dan, that game that Fernando threw, you know, a lot of times you say, well, this guy has no hit stuff. He didn't even have impressive stuff that night, but he had the luck behind it through the no.
Well, now it's Matt Bowman.
Chevy called the bullpen. He took the loss on Tuesday night in extra innings.
And the 0-1 pitch. It's sharply towards second base. Greg Garcia makes the play, and there's one out. Herman retired to start play here in the home half of the 7th.
You know, Bowman chomping at the bit to get back into this ball game. His 38th appearance.
Chris Iannetta will be the batter.
Bowman's done a nice job of getting the ground balls, coming in and trying to, with men on base, you know, trying to get that ground ball double play.
Remember, Dave Stewart was the GM the last couple of years here at Arizona. And it's been turned over to a Princeton grad, Mike Hazen, who is with the Boston Red Sox most recently, began his career with the Cleveland Indians. Tony La Russa telling me they are a very sharp bunch. Mike Hazen and his group.
Lions in the Cardinal bullpen.
Two-0 pitch to Iannetta. 2 balls and 1 strike.
Who's your 8th inning guy today?
We got a couple of lefties coming up in Blanco, Peralta. We got Jake Lamb. 3 of the first 4, at least as it stands right now, are from the left side. So do you look at maybe a Tyler Lyons? Brett Cecil has pitched in back-to-back games.
I think Cecil is maybe one of my choices for his closing this game. Brevia could be another one, or go back to O.
I would assume it'd be Seung-Hwan Oh if they can get to him. But you never know.
Never know. And like you say, with those lefties coming up.
Hyundai pitch arsenal with Bowman, the fastball, the change, and cutter. Dave Stewart and Fernando Valenzuela, first time in Major League history to have 2 no-hitters on the same day. 3-2 pitch. Tapped foul. Three-two pitch. Again. Just pounding that sinker down and in. That changeup as well that he'll have the good 12-6 movement with. Gateway Honda home run dealers donating now $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri, thanks to Randall Grichuk and his 3-run homer. And the 3-2 pitch again to Iannetta. And he got him on the outside corner. Bowman wins that battle.
Well, like you said, everything was down and in, down and in. So work the outer part of the plate. And wow.
Vital Marte will be the batter, the switch hitter. Doubled and scored in the third. Struck out looking in inning number 5 as Lynn struck out 7 today.
You'd have to say in this series there have been more bad calls in the strike zone that have gone against Arizona than the Cardinals.
And a fly ball lifted out to shallow left. Catch made by Martinez. We head to the 8th and it's 5-3. It's 5-3 St. Louis.
Moving from second base with shortstop number 16, Chris.
Ildemaro Vargas takes over at second base. Delgado pitching for Vargas. It's his major league debut. And Owens goes to shortstop and Marte out of the game.
Leading off for St. Louis, left fielder Jose Martinez.
Jose Martinez with a big hit in this game. A single with the bases loaded. Picked up 2 RBIs, numbers 16 and 17 back in the 4th. He's grounded to second and also grounded out to short. So Delgado is into the ball game in relief of De La Rosa. The first pitch is in the dirt to the backstop.
So Vargas will lead off the 8th inning for the Diamondbacks.
7 of his 9 appearances for Delgado have been scoreless appearances. And the tag applied by Goldschmidt. Nice play. Jose Martinez pointing at Mike Matheny to make sure and take a look at this.
He's going to camp out on the first base bag. He's that confident. There's the ball, and
I'm not sure the tag was ever applied.
yeah, that's have a better look right here. No.
See Goldschmidt, I mean before I was talking about 2014 when he had the fractured wrist. He was very concerned about that.
Yeah, not going to keep that hand in there and get injured.
And the Cardinals will indeed take a look at this.
Ladies and gentlemen, the previous play is under official video replay review. The call on the field is that the batter runner is out at first base.
Rick Gibson, the first base umpire, he's on the infield side, so he can't tell whether the tag was made or not.
Good look at it here. I think he's safe.
I mean, rarely do you see a guy that's that adamant that he's safe as Martinez is.
Part of this umpiring crew includes Jim Wolf, who's at second base in our ball game today. Brother of Randy Wolf. And the call is safe. Randy Wolf, a longtime major league pitcher, and here you have a longtime major league umpire in Jim Wolf. Only stipulation was he could not work the series that Randy Wolf was a part of. So if his crew,
the bases right, but not home plate.
They actually changed it. So any series that he was a part of, yeah, he was not allowed to umpire in those games. So Jose Martinez is aboard.
Scored an E5.
It'll be the 8th error on Jake Lamb. Here's Paul DeYoung, who is 1 for 3. And DeYoung hits a high fly ball left field. The catch is made by Herman. Batter is Greg Garcia.
Greg Garcia.
All-Star game and the Home Run Derby coming up. You don't want to miss it. Home Run Derby on ESPN, the All-Star game on Fox. Jose with 1 stolen base this year. Just joined us, maybe getting home from work. The Cardinals took the lead with 2 outs and a 3-run homer last inning by Randal Grichuk, his 7th of the year. That's boxed by the catcher Iannetta, but Martinez not advancing.
Tyler Lyons standing on the Cardinal mound, warmed up a couple times, so it wouldn't take him much.
Big gap in right center. Hit and run was on and to perfection. Martinez around second, now to third, and Garcia has his first hit of the afternoon. They start the runner and it pays off.
It's pretty when you see that in motion and it works. Takes off here. Shortstop goes to cover, but it didn't matter. It was in well over his head and into left center. The Cardinals with 1 out have runners at the corners for Eric Fryer. They'll pull the infield in. And now they're see if they play double play depth up the middle. They are.
Well, you got to think maybe squeeze play, suicide, or safety. You're up by 2 runs. Fryer has struck out twice, hit a soft liner. And pitch taken low. Randall Delgado in his 5th year with the Diamondbacks after a 7-player trade with the Braves back in 2013. Last year was 5-2, so he made 79 appearances. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Tommy Pham has moved to the on-deck circle. Once he comes to the plate, the Cardinals will have 1 position player available, and that would be Yadier Molina.
Kind of wondered about that when they pinch hit Garcia from Mejia, knowing that it was a 1-run game at that time. See how you could run out of players if the Game got extended.
Key in any bunt situation, if you're Eric Fryer, not to give it away too early. Same with the runners. If indeed they go that direction. Ionetta's thinking that.
He's thinking it, but Matheny's showing confidence that he get at least a sac fly. But you watch, try to see if it's put on, to see if the batter does something different, to acknowledge it.
So 3-1 the count.
Kind of jump that Garcia gets right here.
3-2. Three-two pitch, and he walked him. Bases are loaded for Tommy Pham. Nobody throwing in the Diamondbacks bullpen. Tommy Pham from Las Vegas. His sister was in attendance first couple of nights in this series. His nephew. And he made a dazzling play in game number 1. We have seen some very good defense by the Cardinals, and here it is Tuesday night. Saves a run, if not two, and almost turned this into a double play. Racing into the wall in center. Terrific catch by Tommy, who has given this team a burst of energy.
He really has. Plays with a lot of heart. Starting to really stand out amongst his teammates. The passion he has.
The incredible thing about Tommy Pham, and talking with him the other day, we mentioned his eyesight, but you'll see him blink a lot when he's at the plate. He's always trying to keep the eyes somewhat with moisture. They dry out very quickly, but one of his eyes, without a contact, he'd be considered, and is considered, legally blind. It's just an amazing story to see him and to see what he's doing and producing here at the major league level. And you'll watch him in between innings. He's got his contact lens kit always out, fiddling with that. The one doctor that he's gone to that he's had success with is in Las Vegas, and he's been to some of the world's best. And he comes in with a chance to do some damage here with one out and the bases loaded. Pham rips it foul.
Lefty warming up now for Carpenter, but Tommy Pham's in the driver's seat. Hit this ball very hard, fouled by a couple feet. Let's break it open right here.
Infield is in. Pham falls behind, 0-2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. The next 2, Pham. And that's a base hit into left center field. 2 runs will score. Tommy Pham delivering off the bench. Trying to race back to the bag at first. He does. He's safe, and Pham makes it a 7-3 St. Louis lead.
Way to go, Tom. Talking earlier about how well pinch hitters have been last couple of years for the Cardinals. Tommy comes through here in a big way.
When the Cardinals score 6, tomorrow you can score any size coffee, fountain, or frozen drink, and they've scored 7 today. They're just 50 cents at On the Run. Hunger strikes. Try the new fresh snacks and sandwiches from On the Run and On the Way Cafe. Available at your nearest On the Run. You earned it.
I mean, left center line drive. Watch him take the aggressive turn. Now he tries, feet slipped out from underneath him, but the middle infielders didn't catch it until it's too late.
Now Matt Carpenter. When you think about how the Cardinals have come back in this game, and 2 of the key at bats have been delivered with 2 strikes. Luke Voigt with 2 outs and nobody on, his double into left center, and this with 2 strikes. That plates 2. Randall Grichuk also with 2 strikes, his 3-run homer.
Trouble putting hitters away.
Carpenter is 0 for 3. Pham is running and a stolen base. Little things even like that.
Right. Tommy showing off all of his wares.
9th stolen base for Tommy Pham. Oh, 2 pitch to Matt Carpenter. And he strikes out. The batter will be Randall Grichuk, one of the biggest hits of this ball game. 2 outs, 2 strikes, and his 3-run homer, with the Cardinals trailing at that time 3-2. 7th inning, hanging slider, a long home run.
3 on the day, also a walk, scored a couple times, and the 3 big RBIs.
And there's strike 1. The 0-1 pitch.
Sending's all Delgado. The lefty sat down.
Here's a 1-1 pitch. 2 balls and a strike. Tommy Pham was 0 for 4 as a pinch hitter entering that at bat, batting .179 with runners in scoring position, but it changes with 1 swing.
On the rise.
The 2-1 pitch to Grichuk. 3-1.
Delgado wanted that one.
First base open. May see a slider here, but if he gets the fastball, watch out.
didn't want the fastball away. Looks like the slider.
3-1 is a base hit into the corner and left. Grichuk has driven in 5 today and on his way to second base. And the Cardinals have busted it open. It's 9-3 here in the top of the 8th.
Like another hanging breaking ball. Lacks only the triple for a cycle, but we'll wait another day for that. As breaks the game wide open and the hometown crowd leaving. There you see that breaking ball, try to guide it up there just inches inside the foul line.
July 15th against the Mets a couple of years ago, he had a career high 6 RBIs. And today it is 5 against Arizona for Randal Grichuk. Piscotty a couple of walks today and he's 0 for 2. It's now a 9-3 St. Louis lead. Two balls and no strikes, and again nobody getting loose in the Arizona bullpen, so this is Delgado's to get out of.
Saying started with the error by Lamb, allowing Martinez to reach first.
Two and 1 the count. Stephen Piscotty, for those of you that have just joined us, and we understand a lot of folks getting home from work right about now, one of the catches of the year in right field, who was back in the first inning. Paul Goldschmidt at the plate, and he robbed him of extra bases. Here it was. Long way to go. Full dive and stretch. What a catch by Piscotty. Three balls and 1 strike.
Pham made a nice catch in game 1, as well as Grichuk in game 1, and then that play here in the 3rd game of the series. Cardinals a 9-3 lead and chance to take this series against a good ball club.
3-2. Non-save situation and exactly what the Cardinals needed. Potentially trying to figure out the final 6 outs today. 3-2. Piscotty stays alive.
Diamondbacks only have 4 hits in this game. All 4 of the hits have been extra base hits. 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run.
The 3-2 pitch to Piscotty. And that is a fair ball into the corner. Grichuk, he will score. Piscotty changing places with Randal, and it's a 10-3 St. Louis lead.
Scotty needed that, his first hit. Only his second hit of the series, but drives in Randal Grichuk. Cardinals have reached double figures, 10-3, and now they're hard hit ball. He's turning on that fastball. Not fooling anybody, is he?
Not this inning, not this appearance. Cardinals with a couple of doubles in the inning off Delgado. They have 4 base hits. He's walked a man. St. Louis with 5 runs here in the top of the 8th and a 10-3 lead. Jed Jerko a 2-hit day. He's 2 for 4. Doubled into the corner and left. Also a single into left, grounded out to third and flied out to right. 2 balls and no strikes. And not the ratio you want. 32 pitches. Only 17 have been strikes. Three and 0.
His leadoff error in this inning. Only one of these runs are earned.
3 and 2. And that's a walk, and the Cardinals will bat around here in this 8th inning. 2 walks, an error, 4 hits. It all started with Jose Martinez on a play that could have been ruled a base hit. Jake Lamb with a throw that was in time at first base, but the tag not applied by Goldschmidt. Throw was up the line just a bit. And that's how this all started. Runners at first and second. 2 outs and ball 1.
I don't know about you, Dan, but I'd just stay here a while and watch this offense go. Keep pouring it on.
1-1. Diamondbacks at home this year, 30 and 11. They've lost 2 in a row at home, only twice this season, and only lost 1 series this year at home. That was to Colorado in late April.
The trade that brought Delgado to Arizona was the Justin Upton deal. Justin Upton and Chris Johnson went from Arizona to Atlanta. They got Martin Prado, Ahmed, a right-handed pitcher, and Brandon Drury. How about that? It's a good portion of their ball club right now.
Strikeout of Martinez, and the inning comes to a close. Big offensive explosion for the Cardinals here in the top of the 8th with 5 runs scoring. Tommy Pham off the bench drives in 2. Rando Grichuk, 5 driven in today. And Stephen Piscotty for good measure.
He's in this ball game. Lions will enter the ball game, but Pham's playing center field. Grichuk moves from center to left. And Tyler Lyons will take over here with a nice 10-3 lead. Our Chevy call to the bullpen.
Here's Vargas in his first plate appearance in the big leagues. Mentioned earlier, was with the Cardinals as a non-drafted free agent back in 2008.
And here's another player reaches the big leagues after playing in the independent leagues.
Here's the 0-2 pitch, And a strikeout for Lyons. First out here in the home half of the 8th.
Center fielder, Gregor Blanco.
Gregor Blanco with 2 hits today. He had a triple back in the 6th. At that point, it was a 2-2 score. That's how he led off that inning. One ball and 1 strike.
I believe Mike Myers is warming up in the Cardinal bullpen. So a good time to bring in him. Myers for the first time this year at the big league level.
Good breaking ball. 1-2.
Always said he's got that real good breaking ball. And you can see Tyler Lyons is being used as the kind of a long man, but with the reshuffling down there in the bullpen, you might use him as, more that 7th inning guy ahead of Cecil. That I think Brent Cecil's going to get more and more opportunities at the end, and he's deserved them. And you could have Myers be your long man.
Here's a 2-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat, popped up. DeYoung is there for out number 2.
Right field, and roll time.
First time this season the Diamondbacks have given up 10 runs in a game. First time, and we're almost halfway through the year. Today being game number 78 for the Cardinals. Peralta spins away from that pitch up and in. They have dropped their team ERA by over 2 runs this season from a year ago. Peralta fly ball to Tommy Pham. He makes the catch. Lions a 1-2-3-8, and we head to the 9th. St. Louis on top. Scott Warman and Rick Ankiel on the postgame show coming up. Chafin a very good seasons thus far. Lefty's only hitting 193 against him. He pitched in game 1 of the series. Our score is 10-3. The Cardinals with 11 hits. Diamondbacks with just 4.
DeYoung extended his hitting streak to 8 games.
A single to center back in inning number 4. Also a great diving stop to his left. Three balls and 1 strike.
Always talk about the first batter for relievers, always important, particularly if you come in with men on base. And Chafin has held them to a 167 average, 5 for 31.
Nobody throwing in the Cardinals' pen, so we may see 2 innings from Tyler Lyons.
And like I said, Myers was up last inning, so he might wait for an out or two. Go either way.
And a strikeout of DeYoung.
Second baseman, Greg Garcia.
Greg Garcia, after the error by Jake Lamb, Martinez at first base, and Garcia with a hit and run to perfection.
Let the front shoulder fly open. You know, as a pitcher, you don't want to do that, and as a hitter, particularly with a lefty on the mound. Greg lets that front shoulder fly open, then he's any kind of breaking ball away, he'll never reach it. Where's the smiles? 10-3 lead.
One and two the count. And the next two, Greg Garcia, pitch number 10 of the inning. It's a strikeout.
Catcher, Eric Fryer.
Talk about Fryer, rare starts. Cardinals hold on to win this one. He'll have a record of 9 wins out of 14 starts for Eric Fryer.
Two 2-0 the count with 2 outs and nobody on. Eric Fryer last time up walked, and that would load the bases for Tommy Pham, who delivered with a single that scored 2. We're in the 9th and it's 10-3. Cardinals wrapping up the road trip here today. Three and one.
Cardinals will be winning a series against a team, the Diamondbacks, who were 15-3 in their last 18 home games.
And Fryer sends it down the right field line, but foul. Count runs to 3-2.
And we're putting an end to so many different little streaks for the Diamondbacks. They were 4-0 when wearing their throwback uniforms. It's Throwback Thursdays. They're 4-0 wearing these, they call the vests. And D-backs had won 7 consecutive day games, including 6 in a row here at their home ballpark, Chase Field.
That's great. On a hop hit to short. And Fryer is safe both times. Iannetta claiming that Fryer was out of the baseline, but to no avail.
center fielder Tommy Pham.
E6. He was out. Is this an umpire review, or can you challenge that?
Well, non-reviewable if they're wanting to know whether or not he's in or out of the base path, the baseline, that is not a reviewable play. Now, they could take a look as to whether or not the tag was applied. That would be reviewable.
And I guess they're going to get together as umpires, so it's not a video review, but see if anybody sees it a different way. Has to duck under it. Looked like he was tagged, but watch, looks like he beats him to the bag. He does. Now, are they saying that he turned, constituting like he's moving to second base? Doesn't look like it.
That clearly is not what the ruling would be on this, because that would be only on a ball that got away. So they're just going to question whether or not the tag was there. He still has not touched the bag, so Goldschmidt can go for the bag.
Right.
Which then he's out. If you pass the bag, my understanding would be that at that point he is not officially at the bag.
Right.
So he hasn't touched it, so Goldschmidt touches the bag, he'd be out.
And I thought I saw his sleeve, prior sleeve move, where he was tagged by Goldschmidt as he went by. We got a decision one way or another, maybe. And now they're going to go to the headset. Call them out. That is the correct call. Can't tell there, but you can see that he hadn't touched the base, and Goldschmidt touched the base ahead of Fryer, so he'd be out.
So the Cardinals, with a 7-run lead, now take to the field, getting ready for the bottom of the ninth. And with that, the Cardinals are 3 outs away from a series win here in Arizona. Start on Sunday Night Baseball, inauspicious start for Mike Myers a year ago, but he'll get a chance to work out of the pen here today.
And he was really throwing the ball well. He was recalled from Memphis on Sunday. He had a 5-6 record there with a 3.74 in 14 starts. But it was 0.87 in his last 5 starts. And other than that tough outing that on national TV where he made his major league debut, when he came up later in September, he pitched very effectively. Pitching well at Memphis, and here he earns another promotion.
And the first batter he gets is Paul Goldschmidt. Popped up to the right side. Carpenter over near the Cardinal dugout, out of play. The Cardinals picked up a run in the 4th inning. Matter of fact, 2. Had a lead of 2-1. Fell behind 3-2. Then they picked up 3 runs in the 7th and 5 in the 8th. 11 hits for the Cardinals in this game, with 5 driven in by Randal Grichuk. They've out-hit the Diamondbacks 11-4. Goldschmidt with a long home run earlier today.
Yeah, that home run was his only hit in the series up to this point. One for 10, 2 walks.
The slider taken low and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again on the air tomorrow at 6:30. The pregame show, the Cardinals and the Nationals. Goldschmidt puts it in play to second. Greg Garcia, 1 away. Here's Jake Lamb. And Lamb sends a high fly ball into deep right center and a long home run. Lamb with home run number 18.
Just 1 RBI behind Goldschmidt for the National League lead. The 2nd RBI of the day. No doubt about this one, was it? See Fryer's glove. He's set up away, and the glove came back to the middle of the plate, and that was deposited over the swimming pool.
Good slider there. And it's 0-2. Oh-2 in the check swing didn't go. 1-2 the count. So 1 out, nobody on. 10-4 our score. A ball and 2 strikes on Chris Owings. Hit out of play. Couple of strikeouts today for Owings and a ground out to third.
Bad one up here. I can't get the third strike by him.
And the 1-2. Out to deep left center field. Pham won't get there. Off the base of the wall. Owings trots into second base.
Good battle there, and Owings wins it. Deepest part of the field. There, 413. Just the 6th hit for the Diamondbacks today, and they've committed the only error of this game.
Chris Herman at the plate, grounded out back in the 7th. Also fly to left, and he was robbed by Paul DeYoung to end the bottom of the 4th.
Malala gets up just in case.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. One and one the count with one out and a runner at second base. One and two. High fly ball into deep right. Piscotty with just enough room makes the catch. We turn to the Budweiser player of the game. The Cardinals center fielder, then move to left. That's Randall Grichuk. Grichuk, a key hit in this game. Cardinals down, and a 3-run homer. And then this double added 2 more. 3 for 4, and he's driven in 5.
Good to see 3 home runs since being called back up, and he's hit a home run. He's had a multi-hit game.
The strike on Iannetta. Cardinals 1 out away from taking 2 of 3 here in Arizona. And they could have had a sweep.
Should have had a sweep. Game 1 of the series, going into the 8th inning, had a 3-run lead with Rosenthal and O available, and let it get away. But we'll take the series sweep, or series win.
1-2 pitch and a strikeout for Myers to end the ball game. The Cardinals win it 10-4. They out-hit the Diamondbacks 11-6, and they come to the desert and take 2 of 3.
Yeah, that's so important because they were showing they were having trouble winning against good clubs, and the Diamondbacks are a very good club. So win this series, then you come home. You'll be at home until the All-Star break, and tomorrow you start a series with Washington, who has a 2-run lead and going into the 9th inning against the Cubs today.
The post-game show comes your way next. Big game for the Cardinals, a final of 10-4.